I'm an educator, motivator, professional bodybuilder. I am the People's Health Coach, here to help you to become your best selves. And this is Muscles and Stilettos.
I am Wonder Woman, a wonder of a woman, a creature so fearfully and wonderfully made that even my creator had to sit back and say, "Woo, man." An amazing Amazon, protector to all. Hell hath not the fury that I can unleash, should I or my loved ones be scorned. Mother Earth, growing potential thoughts, potential ideas, birthing those ready to be born and those ready to be reborn.
Hey Fit Fam, this is your girl Orlandina Balan, the fitter woman, the host of Muscles and Stilettos, and welcome to our wedding special. Fam, we know that right now with the pandemic and so much social unrest, we feel as if everything's been canceled. Everything that we've been looking forward to going and being a part of has just been canceled or postponed. But I want to remind you here on Muscles and Stilettos that love most definitely has not been canceled. So stay tuned as I welcome our very special guests. Hey fam, welcome back. I want to welcome here our very special guest, Reverend Lynette Gamillion Ellis of Officiants on Call. Welcome, Lynette.
Hey, how you doing, Orlandina?
How's everything going?
Oh, awesome.
So tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do, and the fact that you have a company called Officiants on Call. I feel like it should be like Grubhub for weddings.
Well, this year I feel like that's exactly things have changed
for weddings. Yeah.
so much. And I guess you could say I feel like that way because before when we had such a lull, and then all of a sudden it picked up, but it picked up in such a way that it's not like any other wedding time that we've experienced in the past. As you said, I'm a wedding officiant. I'm the owner and founder of Officiant on Call Marriage Services Agency. We've adopted the agency this year, and we have 10 other officiants working with me. And what we do is we're a non-denominational agency that we marry all people everywhere. And what's happened is through the pandemic, we went from doing the venues, the lovely settings and everything, to much more intimate settings, home, in parks. We're everywhere, in parking lots.
What is the most unique place you had to perform a wedding? Since these, everything is so different now.
Okay, right. Well, I just said it, in the parking lot.
Parking lot of what? Like
in the parking lot of our building. I had a couple that needed to get married or wanted to get married. They had to wait. They've been waiting since yes, since the pandemic. And they were anxious. They didn't know whether their paperwork was still good or what they had to do. They weren't getting any feedback from City Hall. And finally, somebody was able to reach out to them from City Hall saying, you have to marry now, today, or your paperwork has to go back in the pile. So they called me. They said, we're just here. Can you marry us? I'm like, sure. Where are you? And they're like, we're not too far away. I came downstairs because she had to get the paperwork back. Literally in the parking lot.
In the parking lot. I'm telling you, they must have loved each other so much. Like, look, we're going to do this. We're just going to do it now. We'll make up for it later.
Yeah, and it was funny because they had mom in the car, sister in the car, so they had the witnesses.
Aww.
They came out of the car and everybody had on the masks. It was so cute, such a cute couple. But that's the sign of what's been happening during this time, and that's, like I said, we've done a few in the office, in parks, at the beach. You name it, wherever we could find a cubby hole that was a little nicer than, granted they had to move their venue up, or some had to give it up completely because the dates moved into other people's dates. So people have been rushing around trying to find a way to do it, but we've been pretty creative. you
Would
know?
you say that you've had to be very flexible in all of this?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, absolutely.
So, how so? Because I know that marriage, even just the concept of marriage is changing. It was always traditional man, woman. So in the
Mhm.
planning, I see we have to be flexible. We have to be flexible in our mindset and thoughts
Mhm.
about it.
Yes,
So
yes,
have you had to be flexible or work with couples and just help them to be flexible? How so?
yes. What we had to do so far is, okay, the couples who are able to move up their date because the new date was open, but maybe their date that they originally wanted this year was special to them. Maybe that was the date that they met. So what we did was we married them in an intimate ceremony, um, in the backyard or a park or something, so that they can keep their date that they wanted on their wedding. And then after that, we also granted them the opportunity to, we'll marry them on the date of for next year as well. So we didn't let them lose the date, and the service of having an officiant or having to go out and get another officiant. What we did was we married them on both dates.
Well, you know what? I think that's cool, and I'm happy that they were even flexible enough. Because a lot of times, you grow up with, at least for the women, we grow up with this concept of what our wedding day is going to be like. It's going to be
Mhm.
sunshine, the birds,
Mhm.
the doves, the butterflies, and all of that.
Yeah,
And now to have all of that
yeah.
taken away from you
Hmm.
because of what's going on, it really it messes with you.
It messes with the whole concept of what you had growing up as a girl, or maybe thinking of it all these months, how things were going to be. And then all of a sudden to have a brick thrown at you and said, no, you can't do that. You
At
know,
all. Yeah.
not everybody felt that it was okay to change. Some people, and rightfully so, because they had that dream alive in their mind for so many, years or months or whatever, where they wanted that big, beautiful wedding with the venue and everything. And I understood, but others rolled with the punches,
Mhm.
went with it. And one of my brides said, you know what? I love this even more, because what they both came to the conclusion was let me see, it was like 12, no, it wasn't 12 people. No, no, it was about close to 20 people that were there. And they loved the fact that that was that was who they needed to be there. They had their parents, their closest friends and family. And she says, we were planning something with over 100 people, and everybody who matters to me is here right now. That was beautiful. I loved it.
So, what sets you apart from the other wedding officiants out there? What makes you so unique?
What makes us so unique? Okay. Well, I'm not saying that we're the only one, because we're not. We're a wedding fishing agency.
Mhm.
And what we do is what is this that we what is it that we do? We we take more our time. We're not only an agency, but the people who are working with me, I train them. I also train my officiants.
Mm.
So they go out and they are an image of me, and what I do is I help them so that they won't go out there cold. Like I started cold, where okay, I had to learn how to write ceremonies. I had to learn how to be that person, or to try to fix myself so I'll be the ministerial type. But I realized I'm not the type. I'm not your everyday minister. I wanted to be the friend. I wanted to be that person that could help them to understand why they were coming to me, why they were getting married. I wanted to be all of that. I wanted to be that best friend, that mom, that aunt, and I think the people that are joining me on my journey are like that as well. So I train my officiants so that they won't go out there cold. Like I said, they'll know how to communicate with their couples. They know what to do. They know how to structure a ceremony and then some. So that's what I believe sets us apart from others.
So, now can you tell me what is your favorite part of a wedding ceremony? Or just a wedding, not just the ceremony, but from beginning to end, what's your favorite part?
When I hear my brides and my grooms speak their vows, I think it's the most sweet, especially when they do their own. They don't understand how big that is. When the man is some guys, they will be, I'm not saying anything, and then the day of, can I say something? I can say whatever you want. It's your day. And the man who and this happens so many times. Oh, he doesn't like to speak. He doesn't like to say anything. Then all of a sudden he clears his throat and he comes out with the most beautiful, beautiful love, speakings of love and gratitude. And I have been brought to tears on more than one occasion.
Oh my God.
And I have to tell you, we were at the Women's Pavilion in Central Park, and it was a young man and woman, they were getting married, and he started to speak. When I tell you, it was the first time somebody really took me down like that.
Wow.
And I listened to him, and his words, you knew that they were coming from that special place in the heart. And I went to speak, and I said, oh, excuse me, I'm trying to forget it. I said, I can't believe it, minister, you can't do this to me. I've been through this road too many times. But it was, you heard his heart speak. And it was so plain and so simple and so loving. Mm-hmm. That has to be one of my most precious times right there.
I love that's beautiful. I do. I love the vows, especially when they write their vows and you're like, this person took their time, because like some people are speakers, some people are not. So when it's the one that really doesn't speak a lot, that's when you gotta watch out. They're the ones that really took time to say what they wanted to say.
Yes.
After that, it's for me, the next part is when they say, all right, everybody, get on the dance floor. I'm there.
Let's
go. I'm good. And I'm a party animal. I love that. You sound like you create amazing and beautiful and unique weddings. Where can we find you?
Oh, you can find me at officiantoncall.com. Reverend Lynette at officiantoncall.com. Our number is 347-229-7714.
Reverend Lynette, I want to thank you again for sharing what you do, sharing how you celebrate love in all its many facets. Yeah. And I cannot wait to do more with you and just
same here.
You grow and bring more officiants with you. We appreciate you. And thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. And you have a great day. And keep it going, girl. Keep it going.
You got it.
Dropping gems from Keisha Christian. She's on a mission, sharing information, knowledge for soul, body and mind. Dropping gems, KeishaGems.com. KeishaGems.com.
Hey Fit Fam, this is your girl Orlandina Balan, and I am the Fitter Woman. Welcome to our special edition of Muscles and Stilletos, the wedding special. Today we have our special guest, KL Allen from Atlanta. He is one of the premier fashion designers, and today we're going to be talking about the special dress. Hello, KL. Thank you for joining us.
Hello, thank you for having me, by the way.
Thank you. So tell us a little bit about you and what you do.
I am a fashion designer. I have a fashion label called Perfect Population by KL Allen. I started my line in 2007 and it kind of took off from there. I've worked with like countless of celebrities here in Atlanta and, nationwide. Some of the housewives, some of the Love and Hip Hop cast, Fantasia, just a slew of celebrities. And I'm so honored to be a part of this platform and give my advice on that special wedding gown and some of the do's and don'ts. So thank you for having me.
So for weddings, what would you say is your favorite part of a wedding? Being a guest or, whether as a guest or whether as a designer, what do you say is your favorite part of weddings?
My favorite part of the wedding is the vows. Like the words that you express to each other before you say I do. I feel like that moment in itself is just something that you're really just speaking from your heart, and it is very touching. You know what I mean? So that's something that you'll always remember, that moment on what your partner said to you, during the vow moment. And then I think another part of it is like the reception after, where everyone's together, they're having fun, they're celebrating, they're enjoying, they're laughing, they're dancing. I think that's that right there is the kick, because it's bringing in so many people to enjoy this moment, and it's a great moment.
I would agree with you. The vows are just so beautiful. The vows are, when you hear that's what to me makes it personal. And when they have a really good officiant to make it even more personalized, it's just a joy. So now when a woman goes into a bridal shop or a couturier, they come in with this concept of the dress. How does a woman know what dress is perfect for her? Is it a vibe that she gets, or are there other things that she needs to consider?
I think it's a variation. It's a vibe, but more so a feeling. Like it's that moment, like like this is the dress. Not only does this look good, this is something that I have been seeing for so long. Like people, it's weird, but you go through life and you see different wedding gowns, you see different things from here and there, and once you get to that moment where you're actually trying on the wedding gowns and you're filling them out, in your head, I think before going in there, what you want. But it isn't until you put it on, until you feel like this is the dress for me. It's the look, it fits me perfectly. I know that it's gonna be memorable. I know that this is my dress. You know what I'm saying? Like it's more than a feeling. It's like a total package of different things that you come to realize, like the fit, the look, the color, how it's gonna, make me feel when I'm walking down the aisle. This dress will live on forever, that type of thing.
Yeah, it's true. Because like if I find a dress that I love, it's the fabric, it's the cut. And you're looking in the mirror and you're like, oh, you're a bad girl. You just feel so good when you walk out. And then, you put it all together. You've got the hair, the accessories that perfect it. So like when you walk into a space, it's like you feel so good. Your confidence just goes off
Right.
the chart. So I agree. Would you say that it would be in a bride's interest to just get something off the rack, or would it be better for her to work with a designer such as yourself, someone who can make a custom-made dress for her?
Well, being biased, I'm
Of course
gonna
not. Yeah.
I'm gonna say, because I'm a designer, I feel like custom-made gowns. Like I feel like that moment where you sit with the designer for the consultation, you sketch out, they sketch out your idea of what you think is your dream gown. There's just a lot of things that if you go into a store and you go off the rack, there are certain things that can't be changed. But with the designer, you're able to modify those things or enhance those things or add different things to that dress that just makes it perfect. You know what I mean?
Okay. Why did you even get into creating gowns? Like I see this beautiful gown behind you, by the way. It just looks so intricate and so involved. I'm like, how do you even take all that fabric and mush it all together and create that? Because when I see fabric, my mom, she would make us little dresses when we were little kids. So I would see her getting patterns and the sewing at the sewing machine with her and my grandmother. It just always amazed me how you could take a bolt of fabric, and especially as much fabric as this dress is behind you, like just to take this piece together and make something so marvelous.
Well, I'll tell you a funny story. I kind of grew up as an artist. My mother, she taught me how to draw. Like she used to draw these little figurines of women with like afros, and they would have the curves and everything. And it just was so appealing to me. So like I started learning how to draw. And then, my grandmother, she stayed in the house with us. So she raised me as well as my mother. So she used to sew quilts and everything like that. So when we were younger, to kind of keep us like quiet and settle down, she would just give us a needle and thread to kind of teach us how to sew little things or whatever. So when I was younger, we used to have the little treasure trolls or whatever, and the treasure trolls used to be naked, and I'm like, I felt like I didn't have enough money to like go and just buy the treasure trolls like clothes, because they would sell like the clothes for them. So I would take the fabric that she had, which she would actually cut up fabric from like older clothes. So we would take the fabrics and we would cut up older clothes, and that would be the fabric. So I started sewing little shorts for them and everything like that, and it just kind of became like not an obsession, but I want to be, one day I want to have a clothing line.
So let me ask you this. So we're getting back to the dress. So what are certain things that a bride should look for when she walks into the bridal shop, whether with a custom made dress or a gown? What are certain things that she should look for when it comes to finding that perfect dress?
Well, first, I think we should start with her budget. This is a memorable moment. Weddings are expensive.
Yes.
You don't want to go into a wedding overdoing it to the point where you starting your marriage off with a big financial debt. So I don't want to encourage going for the most expensive dress. I want to encourage, okay, this is my budget. Let's see, what I can get for my budget. So let's start there. So once you start with that budget, then you can go into the store. And then the next thing you will start with is, the fabric. Fabric makes a big, big difference in how the dress will fit on you. You have different types of fabric. So you want to go with a fabric that will fit perfectly on your body. Let's start there. Then you want to go next to the color. A lot of people are traditional. They like traditional white. I feel like we're in an age now where you can play with different colors. So myself, I would encourage, go with the color that will enhance your skin. Go with something that you feel like this is gonna be beautiful. You know what I mean? So let's not be afraid to touch on colors. And then once you go to there, then let's start with the shape of the dress. Do you want an A-line dress? A-line dress is the traditional one that flares out at the bottom. It just kind of all depends on your body type.
So you're all for saying, do away with the traditional white dress and the funny thing, like when you look at the history of the white dress, like bridal gowns weren't always white. Things like Queen Elizabeth or somebody came down the aisle wearing white, and so everybody decided to, follow fashion and start to go white. So now you're saying, go ahead and do away with the white.
Right.
Do something colorful, do something different, and I like that. I like that. Do something different. Do something unique and do something that fits you and suits you and your style.
Right, absolutely.
It's smart. And watch your budget.
Yeah, that budget will I know sometimes you think like, hey, I'm going in here and I know I'm spending $1,000 on this gown, but then you may see the gown that's $10,000 and you like, well, it's my only day. Let me, go over there and try to get this $10,000 gown. You kind of, you don't have to go with the first one you see. Like if if that dress is $10,000 and your budget is $1,000, go around, like look at different places and see if you can, find what you are looking for your budget before you just jump in and get that $10,000 gown. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but what is the difference? Like you go in and you see these different price points. What is the difference between like a $300 gown and a $3,000 gown? Because, if I go into those name brand, those like a David's Bridal or something like that, they have gowns at different price points.
They do.
How can I tell, okay, this is definitely a $300 gown, or this gown is a $3,000 gown but it's not really worth $3,000. Like how can you differentiate?
A lot depends on different variations. Like you may have, I don't want to like discredit anybody and say I know the name
Yeah.
brand design, because it could be a name to someone, but it just might not be a recognizable name. So they could just be, stock item gowns, with the store that are just like discounted, or, they're a cheaper material. They're a little bit more simple in style, not too much detailing. And then as we go up the chain of, name brand, it may be, a name brand gown that's known by, a major wedding gown designer, Vera Wang or somebody. And then you get into the custom options. Custom options are a little different because now you're doing custom, and now you're adding in different variations, beading, appliques, ruffles, hand sewing, hand stitching. So it kind of depends on the level of gown that you're getting, the fabric, the name, and if it's pre-made, if it's a stock item, discounted item, or a very high-end brand design.
So, KL, where can we find you?
You can find me on social media under on Instagram at KL Extraordinaire. That's with an X, KL Extraordinaire. And then you can find me on Facebook under KL Extraordinaire with an X, Allen.
KL, I really wanted to thank you for being on this very special episode of The Wedding Show. And this episode was created to celebrate love. There's a lot of sadness in the world right now, and we want to show that love is most definitely still here. And meeting people like you and the other features just gives everyone hope that there are people out there who are waiting and willing and ready to help you celebrate your special day, making it even more unique with the services and the products and their gifts, their talents. So I want to thank you again for being on the show.
Well, thank you so much.
Having you again.
Yeah, I would love to come on any topic you want to talk about fashion. Check me out. I'm your guy. And you can get some of my other colleagues on here as well. They do different things in fashion as well. So you never know who you'll see next.
Well, I'm telling you, you definitely be back on Muscles and Stilettos this upcoming season, because we are going to be talking about dressing Natasha. Finding Natasha. So you are definitely welcome. You're going to be coming back, and definitely bring your colleagues as well, because on the show I see you have so many different types of personalities, and I know that the women that watch my show, each of those personalities would go with them. So it'd be nice to see how. So I'm like, I love it.
Absolutely. It's been such a pleasure and such amazing opportunity to come kind of discuss that. It's taken me out of my comfort zone and kind of discussing different things that I work on, but I haven't had a chance to kind of really like give my opinion on it. So I'm so honored to be here.
Thank you. All right, fam. So that was KL, and you'll be seeing more of him very, very, very soon in the upcoming seasons of Muscles and Stilettos, where he's going to be talking about fashion and just how to dress for your body type, and how to go from work and to hanging out with the girls, and how your fashion can just be so flexible, and you can have various pieces that'll make you all feel wonderful. So fam, be bigger, be fitter, be stronger, and as always, be good to you. So Fit Fam, thank you so much for joining us on this very special episode of Muscles and Stilettos. With that, Fit Fam, be bigger, be fitter, be stronger, be good to you, and remember that love just is.